So, as of about an hour ago at this recording, the House did vote to reinstate the assault weapons ban. But this did not happen without some drama preceding it. As of a couple of days ago, Democratic leadership wanted to link the assault weapons ban to an increase in police funding. And a lot of progressives were angry about this because a lot of progressives wanted to vote, obviously, for the weapons ban, but they knew they would catch a lot of shit from their base if they voted to increase police funding. And so a lot of lefties and the sort of lefty activists were demanding that they decouple those two things. And they did, but it wasn't before some outrage erupted online about this. One of the most vocal sort of Democratic activists taking party leadership to task was, of course, Parkland survivor turned gun control activist David Hogg. So David Hogg tweeted out on the 27th, "We should replace Democratic leadership with a bunch of bricks. We would have a better chance in the midterms." He followed that up by saying, "I had zero faith to start with. Now I have negative faith. We have to vote, but vote for better Dems in primaries." He's a few years behind us, right? He's still on the primary, the bad Democrats, and vote for the good Democrats. But anyway, he's on his way. He's young.
I have faith in this young man.
Right. Yeah. Right.
He'll get there.
He will get there. He shows great promise. So much promise that this really infuriated the Twitter libs, who had up until now really loved David Hogg. I mean, he was, the March for Our Lives organizers, very big in generating youth turnout for the 2018 midterms, which gave Democrats the House back. And so, he was really in their good graces until he tweeted this out. So once he tweeted this out, he got some predictable backlash. Right now, those bunch of bricks will do to keep the House and Senate. DUE, he spells it. It's will do, DO, to keep the House and Senate blue.
I didn't say anything because I always consider that cheap.
I know, but it's just, these people are so full of themselves.
That is a weird mistake, but
yeah. I mean, these people are so up their own ass. They think they're so smart. It's just worth it to point out when they misuse words.
In this case.
In this context, right. Absolutely. Right now, those bunch of bricks will do to keep the House and Senate blue so we can pass voters' rights, abortion rights, gun laws, etc. Can't afford to screw around with primary incumbents at this point. This is my favorite. Just make sure to deliver the Gen Z vote, David. See, this is what we mean when we talk about how, like, liberal media, like New York Times, MSNBC, it is designed to make people like this, dipshits like this, feel as though they are elites themselves. Like when he says, just make sure to deliver the Gen Z vote, David, it's almost like this guy lives vicariously through party leadership. Like he is Nancy Pelosi in his mind. Just get us the votes, right? As if he's somebody. Just make sure you get us the votes. Deliver me the Gen Z votes.
You're singing my song. I wrote a whole article, probably several that touched on that theme, and one that exclusively dealt with that theme. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. If you watch those shows, the whole intention of them is to make people who watch them feel like they're getting the real inside dope. And of course they're not. I remember many years ago, Bill Maher had a very famous Hollywood gossip columnist on his show. I can't remember her name right now. You know, she was huge in that field. And he said, okay, but if you live in Hollywood, you know that the gossip you're telling people is not the real gossip. If you told people the real gossip, you'd be driven out of this town on a rail.
Right.
We all know what's going on behind closed doors. We don't talk about that.
Of course, right, exactly.
They read that gossip column and they think they're getting, wow, I'm getting a peek behind the curtain of Hollywood, but they're not. They're only getting the things that are acceptable for them to talk about.
Exactly. And same thing here with this guy.
Yep.
So let's read some other responses. We know you hate Dems because, one, your parents taught you to.
And did they? Because I'd be very surprised if this kid, who I get the impression is from an upper middle class home, has parents who hate Democrats.
Also, two, maybe not bash the parents of a school shooting survivor. I mean, I think his parents have been through enough. You know what I mean?
Well, and what's funny is it's people like this who would be the first to jump on that point.
Exactly,
if,
right.
if it were Republicans saying something they don't like.
Or a Bernie Democrat, as you can see, item number 2 in her mini essay there. Bernie sold you on fairy dust solutions. I implore you to look at all the Biden administration has done. Nothing big is easy. Post office renamings are not big. All right, let's see who else gave him shit here. Oh, here. Once again, a lecturing, haranguing, sort of wannabe elite liberal. See, the problem with you, see, the problem with you, as if this kid, who, by the way, like, we were not gassing up David Hogg. We considered him a resistance liberal. I mean, I didn't have anything against him, obviously. He survived the school shooting, and he made a cause to, curb gun violence. That's perfectly valid.
Right.
But this guy was not like one of us, really.
Right. Right.
See, the problem with you...
They're making him one.
Right, they're making him one. The problem with you is that you do some good things, but your message and the things that you tweet are counterproductive to any and all type of progress. All you're doing is hurting the situation. Ask yourself if you're hurting or helping, and then get back to me. Once again, me. Get back to me. David Hogg has to get back to Jason S. on Twitter. Yeah. He owes him an explanation for his behavior. David Hogg is accountable to Jason S. So anyway, that was the response to the original tweet. And David was not in the mood to apologize and suck up to these people. So he kind of dug in. And so the next day, he tweets out, "So here's what Democratic leadership won't tell you. They told survivors in the wake of Uvalde and Highland Park to whip up the votes for an assault weapons ban. Now that we have the votes, they're trying to use this to get a vote on police funding and shelve the AW ban." So then, the next day, after, he got, I'm sure, thousands more tweets taking him to task for this, he says, "Burned a lot of bridges yesterday. My only regret is that I didn't do it sooner. Half these Dems might as well be Republicans. At least they'd tell us directly to fuck off, instead promising survivors action and then attempting to pull the rug from under them." Here's another thing they won't tell you. Half of them basically are because Dems have done such a shit job of winning state legislatures. These districts are basically a race to see who can be the most moderate GOP in the primaries, and for the right, who can be the most fascist. We have to start winning state legislatures and voting for the furthest left candidates we can in safe primaries if we are ever going to save this country. Right now, if Dems were a party in almost any EU country, they'd be one of the most conservative parties in Europe. And then, of course, he got some of this. David Hogg spends more time attacking Democrats than Republicans, and it's getting old. Actually, this was...
Since when?
Since when? I've never really heard him go after the Democrats this hard. He seems to go after
He's going after them now because they're fucking him on the thing he's been working on since he survived a horrific school shooting.
Right. And worked his ass off to give them the House in 2018.
Yep.
Imagine if David Hogg spent 1/4 the time trying to help Democrats get elected that he does taking to Twitter and TV to attack Democrats. Again, where is the evidence for this? I don't really see it.
That seems like it's just automatic. That's just a stock lie. I feel like the person didn't even care about whether there was evidence for that. It's just something they deploy on anyone who doesn't drink the Kool-Aid. My question is really, how many of these people are there left, though?
Well, that's the thing. Like, big things come in threes, right? Big things come in threes. So the Democrats have pissed off Alyssa Milano, David Hogg. Who's the next big lib to fall? Is it going to be Rob Reiner? Is he going to come out tomorrow and say, "Goddamn Merrick Garland"? He's a fucking pussy. Why isn't Trump in jail yet? I feel like a third one's going to fall soon.
I think Rob Reiner's too far gone. I mean, you never know, man. When you get Alyssa Milano, all bets are off.
I'm sorry. Did we say Alyssa Milano?
Not
I meant
Alyssa
the other
Milano,
one. Deborah Messing.
Deborah Messing.
Sorry,
when you, I mean, just as good. I mean, when
they're basically
Deborah,
the same thing.
When you get, they're the same person. That's why you never see them in public together.
Right? Exactly. Yeah.
When you see Deborah, when you lost Deborah Messing, anything's possible. But I'd be surprised with Rob Reiner. He's been such a comfy, ensconced lib for so many decades. I can't see him breaking out of the matrix. But yeah, now when you see these people, I think we're just down to the most pathetic of them. You know, we're just down to the most pathetic TV dinner eating, Mata watching specimens. I don't feel like people who would attack David Hogg for these observations are the force that they once were.
No, I think that's right.
This used to be a lot of people.
This was most Democrats. This was the majority.
I was just going to say, honestly, most of the people I knew were on that page 6 years ago. I'm seeing what I used to tell them in arguments come to pass. Like back in 2016, when I'm sure, well, I know we both did get into these vicious back and forth with these people. I used to tell them, one day to express the positions you're expressing will be an embarrassment, and you're going to pretend you never believed these things. And I feel like we're rapidly coming to that day that the shittiest, the shit libs of the past are already needing to put some distance between themselves and views like, you know what? I don't know if $15 an hour is a great idea.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
You know, they don't want anyone digging up those old arguments now, because we won the argument. We definitely won the moral argument, if not the political power that should have gone with it.
Please clap.